So this one right here, probably one of the most practical, widespread use applications of any business platform that we have is the Errand Running Pros business package. There is whole industries, multi-million, probably billion-dollar companies that are centered around transporting people's stuff for them. And this right here, as a business owner, I mean, there's business owners, but you were talking about, we've talked about before, this has even applications for personal use, but on a business perspective, gosh, if I have something to go pick up, I've got a series of poor choices to make. I can either take an employee that's doing something for me that I don't have time to do and send them to go pick it up, which can impact the availability of employees for my customers. It can impact, sales. Workflow. It can impact profitability for the day or for the week, however, whatever the errand running or the package I need picked up, or, even running to the post office to get the mail. It's such a little tiny thing that every business owner needs. And who are you going to do? Are you going to do it? Or are you going to have an employee do it? I mean, there's really not many good options. So this steps in and meets the need, for those business owners, and it provides a subscription, template that the somebody looking to do errands otherwise wouldn't have. And like we always say, it makes it to where there's other opportunities. They're always going to call you. There's other opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise had without the subscription model.
And, especially in this particular service, businesses are nuanced. Maybe there's a special way to, deliver a product or put a product, or there's a special, method of procuring the product, whatever the case might be. Having someone that doesn't need to be briefed every single time on the procedure, you just have them, you've subscribed, they're essentially on retainer for you. That is huge. It makes it, so much more efficient for the business. And, the other thing, thinking from a management standpoint, you're always worried, when you send an employee off to do something like, I hope they go there and come back. I hope I'm getting, my money's worth in this venture of time,
stop off and buy ice cream.
Exactly. Or who knows, So this is great because, you're giving it to someone that it takes them as long as it takes them. They're self-employed. They're going to do it as efficiently as they can. And, you get all the benefits of that employee doing it in the sense that they have the familiarity with your processes because you use them every time. So I think this is definitely a win-win for anyone who wants to get into this business. And, certainly from the consumption side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the nice thing is too, from the entrepreneur side of, the person that ends up purchasing this Errand Running Pros business package, it can be tough to start a business. It is tough to start a business. That's why not everybody's a business owner. It's really hard. But when you have, I know for as an entrepreneur, that would be a consumer of this product, they come to me and they go, hey, we can set you up with a daily errand running service, or a weekly errand running service, or, a custom standby package of some sorts that you can come up with. Because this is your business. We're not a franchise. We're not going to tell you what to do. You get to make the calls on what's worth your time. But, we'll certainly give you what we think. But as a potential consumer of this errand running service, I can tell you for sure that somebody walks in or drops off a flyer and makes it to where I can go online and register for an errand a week or an errand a day or 3 times a week. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go online. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put it on automatic billing on my credit card. The business owner of the Errand Running Pros is going to get my money automatically deposited into their bank account every month. It's going to stabilize their income, stabilize their ability to get this company growing and really scale it the way they want to, and give them freedom. I mean, I don't know about you. I would much rather be out, running errands. There's a lot of people that really like, there's some people that hate it. There's some, I like it. But, going out, going to different stores, picking this item up, going over, delivering it, so that way when somebody's dual monitor at my office goes down, I can, put it in order at Office Depot or wherever, and I can, buy the monitor that I need, call up my errand delivery service and say, hey, I got a monitor sitting over at Office Depot. Can you go pick it up for me? And then I don't, my employee or myself or whoever at my office is down one monitor for the rest of the day until it gets here. But I'm not paying anybody to totally, my production's not dropping off completely because something inconvenient happened. I'm not taking out a pillar of my company to go over and pick up a computer monitor. This is just really increases the convenience and profitability for me as a business owner.
It definitely does. And, for a lot of business owners, I think there's concern about mileage reimbursements,
Oh,
liability
yeah.
of the employee being off site.
The 50-cent headache.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's a whole administrative thing to be accounting for that, to be on top of it. And so using this service eliminates that concern for the business owner. They don't have to, have mileage books or worry about any of that.
Not to mention liability. That's one of the huge things is the liability of having employees out driving around. What if, God forbid, my employee hits a kid in a sidewalk?
Mm-hmm.
What if
acting on?
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, but looking at it from a business owner perspective, a business owner standpoint, that could kill your business. That could, your liability insurance may not be enough. What if your employee gets into an accident in their own vehicle? Your company could be liable for that. Does your insurance policy cover that? There's just, it's a rabbit hole of, so unless you own a company vehicle and unless you have a commercial insurance policy on that company vehicle, really, it's not a very good idea to send your employees out to be running errands on behalf of your business. Unless you know what you're doing and you've got those bases covered on your insurance policy, it's a really bad idea. So, from a liability standpoint, there's advantages for the customers of the Errand Running Pros business package. But from a practicality standpoint, it just makes more sense to have somebody run out, pick up what you need, and then come back and bring it back to your company.
And, in logistics, they've found this, countless times with companies across the country. But when you solely focus on logistics, you can be more efficient than a company that has to do one-off errands because
Absolutely.
Maybe you're gonna grab that monitor, but maybe you're also gonna pick up the mail and it's back on the other side of town where you need to drop it off.
Yep.
So you're doing two trips in one, something that no single operating business could hope to achieve, and ultimately it's more profitable for everyone.
Yeah, well, and it's really easy to get distracted when you're out and about. We all know that. You go pick up a monitor, and oh gosh, I gotta go by the post office, and oh hey, look, it's lunchtime. I might as well go get a cheeseburger, and oh gee, that look at Barnes and Noble's got that book that I've been meaning to pick up. Maybe I'll swing by there and get it. Yeah, it's just better if during your work hours you just focus on what makes you money and not all the other countless auxiliary things that you could choose to focus on.
Absolutely.
Now, you've worked under our business methodology. Tell me how our way of doing things has impacted your life.
Well, it's improved my life in many different ways. I've learned to, operate in business more efficiently, more strategically, with a greater focus on win-win outcomes, where the business is profiting, but the, clients and customers are happy. So it's been a very enriching process, and I've learned a lot from you guys. You guys have that entrepreneurial spirit that just makes for good business, and so it's been just an absolute pleasure working with you guys.
And now, what about financially? How would you say your situation is different?
Well, it's been enormously personally rewarding, financially rewarding. We've been able to do things we never imagined being able to do just a few years before. Your unique approach to business has enabled us to, be more profitable than our competitors. We've had a better work-life balance, I think, than most people who, even get close to approaching our income threshold. So I think really, as rewarding as something could be, it has been for us.
Now, do you feel like our way of doing things has profitability advantages over traditional ways of doing business?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I think you can, tell just by our history of growth. I think are willing to adapt our business strategies, fill any niche role that's out there. and just, capitalize on things that other businesses aren't even aware of. So yeah, I think we, have had a much greater level of success than our competitors with more profitability and oftentimes less busy work.
Yeah, certainly. And I think too, with the startup series goes over all sorts of that kind of stuff. And just the ways that we've been luckily forced to adapt, and learn how to do things with less staff and, more technology based or more efficiency based, just really picking things apart down to the typing of emails or not. Stuff like that makes a huge difference, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Breaking things down to their kind of constituent components, seeing what you absolutely have to have, what's not necessary, and then putting your energy behind what drives, maximum productivity and profitability. And I think that's where we've had a lot of our success.
Now, Justin, what would you say to someone who is thinking about buying one of these business packages, but is maybe nervous about starting a business from scratch instead of going with a more expensive traditional franchise, or maybe nervous about something else with starting a business?
Well, I would say that, now is a very good time, I think, for someone to look at starting their own business. And I think, when you're weighing these options, say in comparison to a more expensive franchise, I think the flexibility that's afforded because you still own and have control of your own business, I think that's
Absolutely.
huge. I think that's why a lot of people start a business. They don't
Yep.
want to have to report to someone and curtail their goal and operations based on the direction of somebody else. So I
Yeah.
think you get all of those benefits. But I think the other thing that's, a major advantage is that it is lower cost. You're not paying a percentage of your income for an indefinite period. You just have the ability to take a proven model, to adapt it to your specific situation, to be given all the tools to implement your strategy and your goals and to achieve it. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I mean, as an entrepreneur myself, obviously, that started several businesses, when I look back over what worked really well and what did not work really well, it's the unknowns that are waiting out there to just, grab you by the foot and trip you up. And that's really what I think makes businesses fail. I think there's probably two major things that make businesses fail. Number one is not knowing a system and process that's proven for success, which it takes a while to get there. And then number two is just these pitfalls that every single entrepreneur will face at some point in time or another. And having the startup series as a guide to continually reference back to me, makes all the difference in the world compared to somebody that does not have that resource. And business consultants are really, really, really expensive. It's a good way to, especially when you're in the startup phases, that's a good way to really drain profitability, is having to call somebody and pay them by the hour every time you have a question, rather than just referencing a resource that you've got on your computer.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're getting basically a veteran business model that works.
Yeah.
And you're able to use that from the get-go. So, I mean, it's like, taking the Microsoft model when you're starting a software company. It's as good a start as you could have.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining me here, and going over these business packages. And, for you guys there thinking about this, you can submit on our website, or you can give us a call at 844-500-6620 and speak with a business launching consultant. Again, that's 844-500-6620. Thanks so much.